A very good morning, guys, and welcome to a new daily market outlook for the major dollar pairs and of course gold. Today we're going to be identifying what trade opportunities there are on, for example, euro dollar. But before we dive in, I want to just make sure that you guys are all in the Discord server. Link in the description down below. Today we're going to be doing a live session, and daily I share live trade signals. For example, over the weekend we made over 5% just trading Bitcoin alone. So make sure to join in and let's dive straight in. So starting off with the dollar index. The dollar index is currently located in demand. We saw of course a pullback after this break of structure. So on Friday we reacted to this area of demand, this imbalance candle over here. However, we saw kind of like an initial reaction but no real follow through. So we set in a new low over here, and we pretty much saw of course the change of character continuation over here by breaking this low over here, meaning that currently the high to break is this high over here and the current low to break is over here. So currently the 4 hour from a change of character perspective or fractal structure is still bearish until we break this high over here. So for this demand to be significant, and let's say for us to understand that this demand zone is going to hold, what needs to happen? Well, we need to take out this fractal high over here, and once that happens, then I'll be confident that of course dollar index is ready to put in a new high and push up higher in towards 107. So that is it for the dollar index. If we break this low, then I'm very confident that we will hit 105.951. So keep that in mind. Those are pretty much just the two levels that I'm going to be looking at. Either this high breaks and we hit 107, or this low goes, and then I'm very confident that we're going to be hitting 106. And of course, this is what you take into consideration when trading euro dollar, because if the dollar index is bullish, then of course we expect further downside from euro dollar, because that means that the dollar becomes more valuable in comparison to the euro. But if the dollar index becomes weaker, then we expect euro dollar to go up higher, because then that means that the euro is becoming stronger in comparison to the dollar. So let's move in towards euro dollar, because that's of course the main pair that we trade. So looking at it from a daily perspective, first of all, we can pretty much see that we got this kind of ascending choppy price action. Overall, we have this very nice 1, 2, 3 pattern in towards this daily area of supply. Nothing really significant. Just very choppy price action. Overall, from a change of character perspective, the daily has seen a bearish change of character by taking out this low over here, because this is the low that took out this high. Then for example, over here we send that new low, meaning similar to the dollar index, this is now your low and this is now over here your high. If this low is to go, of course further downside is going to be possible. For the rest, yeah guys, I mean, we have liquidity located below these lows over here. So this is what we call liquidity, trendline liquidity. For the rest, we don't have any areas of demand which can sustain and really push up price higher. Of course, you kind of like have this sell before the buy candle or this sell before the buy candle, but nothing very significant. Of course, we have multiple areas of supply, but currently we're stalling from this area of supply where we saw a very strong reaction. But because the higher time frame isn't really telling us anything really that clear, besides kind of like trendline liquidity being built up over here, choppy price action, and overall, yeah, euro dollar just kind of like moving into a range. Let's just look at the lower time frame picture and see what that tells us. So when we look at the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour swing structure is still bullish. However, the overall internal structure on euro dollar is bearish. Overall, we can see where we got that push down, pullback, push down, pullback, and now potentially a new push down. However, what we've seen on, was it Friday? Yeah. So we took out the high of this area of supply over here. I was hoping it to hold a little bit stronger. We can see that we spiked through, meaning that there is some demand located inside this bearish candle before this big buy in towards the highs, which took out that area of supply. So currently from a 4 hour perspective on euro dollar, we do have this bullish fractal structure. Over here we can see that bullish change of character by taking out this high, meaning that this is now your low over here and this is now your high. So on the 15-minute time frame, you'll see this kind of like come back as well. But overall, from the 4 hour perspective, we can clearly see this is your low, this is your high. We're currently in discount, so it's pretty risky to look for any sell options. However, looking at it from a daily perspective, of course, it does look like euro dollar is ready to push down lower. The only thing that I'm not really a big fan of is the fact that we've spiked through this area of supply. That means that there's not really any supply left inside of that zone, and we are now currently located in this fresh area of demand. So it is a higher probability from a 4 hour perspective that euro dollar will now push up higher. If we do push up higher, then I'll of course be looking to target this area of extreme supply for a potential pullback from there. So yeah, that is pretty much euro dollar. If we do push down lower, let's keep our eyes out for this extreme area of demand. If we break through that, look for a push in towards here, then we look for the pullback to trade euro dollar further downwards. So that is the 4-hour perspective for euro dollar. Quickly moving in towards the 15-minute real quick. We can now currently see that the 15-minute is still bearish. What I'm looking at is this high over here. This is your 15-minute swing high. We can see no close above yet. The internal structure is, however, still bullish for euro dollar over here, as we can see. So you can just take over those lines, push down, break of structure internal, pull back in towards the EQ, and that's currently where price is stalling at the 50% mark, guys, of the overall internal swing range. So quickly draw on the premium versus discount tool, and you'll obviously see that that 50% mark is acting as your support and resistance. Now, if you want to look for longs and you want to be aggressive, just look for a push down and then look for that long. If you want to have the higher probability setup, wait for this blue line to go and for that high to go, then look to trade euro dollar up higher in towards that 4-hour extreme area of supply. So that's euro dollar. Moving on in towards Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar from a daily perspective real quick, really chopping in towards downside, nothing really significant. This low over here pretty much took out all the liquidity of the lows that were formed over here, so hence why we're reversing pretty aggressively in towards the highs. So I am looking for slightly more upside from Aussie dollar, but not too much, because if I look at Aussie dollar from a 4-hour perspective, this over here is your swing high, this over here is your swing low. So if we draw in the Fibonacci tool real quick, what we can then see is that we are nearing that 618 fib level. So we have kind of like this extreme area of supply over here, this bearish candle. From there I would be looking for potential short. Otherwise I will be looking for a short from this extreme area of supply on the 4-hour. So either a short from this area of supply or a short from this area of supply. Now what do we need from the lower time frame then to enter? Because if we look at the 15-minute time frame, we can now see that the internal structure was still bearish. So the internal structure on Aussie dollar was very, very clean. Push up, pull back, 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 push up. And then we had that internal break over here after reacting to the 4-hour entire buy before the sell. Over here, this buy before the sell, we reacted to that as supply. So now you can of course look for a potential shorting opportunity over here from this area of supply if we see some reaction. So I will be looking for a short opportunity if we break this low over here, then pull back, and then I expect us to push down. But if we take out, let's say, this high over here, then what I'll do, and sorry for my voice guys, I'll be looking for another push up. So one more push up, for example, reaction to that 15-minute demand, push down, and then one more push up. And then of course I'll just look for, okay, did we reach extreme area of supply, shifting, and are we going to see this, and then that sell off in towards the downside. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on Aussie dollar. Moving in towards pound dollar. Oh, that's the wrong chart. So moving in towards pound dollar from a daily perspective. So pound dollar, extremely rangy from a daily perspective, not really interesting. Overall, the daily does look more bearish. If we look at the internal structure, we can clearly see that we had a high break over here, so bullish change of character we had over here, then okay, push up, then here a bearish change of character, pull back, push down, bearish change of character, then we had a push up again. So yeah, you see kind of like marking out these change of characters, they happen really often, so it's kind of, let's say hard. I don't want to call it hard, but it's kind of like they happen all the time, so don't focus too much on them. But then what we get is another change of character over here on this low, meaning that the daily is now fractal structure wise bearish. Also from an internal perspective, I would say it's also looking bearish. So because the daily is not really that clear, it's looking kind of rangy and choppy. Let's just move in towards the 4-hour for more clearance. So I was looking for a potential short on Friday from this baseline over here, this final kind of like refined area of supply. As we can clearly see, we tapped kind of like into the entire buy before the sell-off, and then we saw that push down. So overall, played out pretty nicely, but for now it's looking very, very rangy here on pound dollar. But if we just quickly draw in our ranging tool, and I use this tool over here, and I just draw it from this high down towards this low, we can clearly see that the 75% mark is acting as your resistance, the 25% mark is acting as your support. So we are kind of like in that 25% mark. Additionally, we are bullish from a swing structure perspective, and we still have kind of like this fresh area of supply located at the top. But until we do not see any bullish price action, And with bullish price action, I mean, okay, the internal structure over here on pound dollar does look more bearish than bullish. We can clearly see that we got kind of like this push down, a pullback, push down, a pullback, and then a push down, then a push up, break. So you would expect, okay, potential upside from here, but then what happens? Internal break of structure again. So now pretty much the internal structure is bearish from this high down in towards this low, and that's why I was looking definitely for shorts from here. So those shorts are still valid until we pretty much break this, let's say this high over here. Then I would be confident that we could push up higher in towards that higher supply zone. But as long as this high over here holds, I will be looking for further downside. Moving in towards the 15-minute time frame. 15 is slightly messy on GU, that's why I like the 1 hour more. The 1 hour is also still looking very bearish, but as we can see once again, like crazy choppy price action over here, very rangy. But I'll be looking for further downside from pound dollar for sure. But for now, not really focusing on pound dollar too much due to the corrective nature. But I just kind of like, yeah, showed you guys what I'm looking for. So moving in towards NZDUSD, looking for slightly higher prices. Looking at this from a 4-hour perspective, the 4 hour is still bearish. So we are coming in towards higher time frame demand over here. So we're inside this daily area of demand. As you can see, we're slowing down. So now what I'm looking for is a potential reversal pattern in towards this daily area of demand. So an example would be something like this, where you get a 1, a 2, and then for example a third touch or fake out on that second low. So what I want is a liquidation of this high, tap in towards this refined extreme supply, push down, and then for example a reversal up higher. So I'm looking for shorts on Kiwi dollar if we are able to push up slightly higher. So that is pretty much Kiwi dollar. Of course, we are still located in this supply zone, and we have already had that 15-minute internal break of structure. So we don't need to push all the way up higher. We could already start selling off from here. Also, if I look at this from a 1 hour perspective, we are located in this supply zone. If we go back in towards the 4 hour, you can also say, okay, this entire buy before the sell is your supply, this buy before the sell-off, and we are now seeing a reaction. However, it is of course high probability if we get that liquidation on that swing high. But for now, if the 15-minute currently is providing us with liquidation, as we can see over here, and we are now able to take out this, let's say, low over here, this fractal low, because this is the fractal low of the lowest structure, then I'll be looking for short. So if that happens, we look for shorts. Otherwise, we just wait for slightly higher price action in towards that 4 hour refined area of supply, and then we look for those shorts. Moving in towards our last pair, of course, gold. So gold, last of all, reacting to the 2007 level, which is of course our daily area of supply, guys. Very beautiful to see. If we now pull back slightly lower, I will be looking for an entry pretty much from this area of demand over here, following the overall order flow in towards the upside, because every single time we have a sell before the buy, you can clearly see that we kind of like tap in towards there, over here again, and now we're looking for that same kind of setup to happen, the sell before the buy to get tapped into, and then look for potential long up in towards 2022. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you all inside Discord. Live stream is at 1 o'clock today, and fantastic day ahead. Thanks guys.